Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Today is the last day of August. So we've got some spice ahead of us. Some stuff to look at for sure. We have the dollar, we have the euro coming back into parity. We're going to take a look at stocks, Bitcoin, total crypto market cap, and some alts. We'll take a look. We haven't done as many alts lately, so we're going to take a look at some alts. We'll update you on our live trade. Great to be back. Great to be here. Love to see the fam turning out. Thank you guys. Don't forget to smash the likes and subscribes. The more you engage with this stream, meaning voting in the polls, talking, chatting, hitting the like button and subscribing, the more YouTube will show this stream to new people. It really does make a difference. It only takes one click, and I appreciate you guys for doing it every day. You guys are the boss. You're the boss. So let's start off with Bitcoin. I have it up on the quarterly here as I think it's 7 hours from now. We'll only have 1 month left in this quarter. What an unfun candle. What an unfun candle. This is 2 months of trading. I can't believe anyone is here watching. I do appreciate you, but I can't believe anyone is watching after 2 months. Look at what we've done. We've moved up a little bit. We've moved down a little bit, and we're virtually right where we started. New start, new chart. That's what we say here every day. So let's just throw that on there. Just above 20,000. We've been talking about this value a ton. That's where the quarter started, and that tiny thin line actually is covering up the candle body of the last, what looks like 2 months. It shows you how little volatility we've seen lately and kind of how boring the market's been. But luckily, there's been some interesting stuff going on outside of just the Bitcoin price. Let's zoom it down to the month. With 7 hours to go, there is one value. It's the only one on this chart that is of utmost importance in the next 7 hours, and that's 19,985. I'm just going to refer to it as 20K. That is the target. That is the target for the next 7 hours. I don't have high hopes of really too much at this point. I don't really see 23.3. We were looking for a test of that earlier in the month. Did not happen. Some things to note about the monthly candle here. We do have 3 consecutive higher lows. We did have a higher high in this monthly, but it really didn't go anywhere. Really didn't go anywhere. If we look above us, that 23.3 target, and of course May's low at 25.3 sitting as resistance. So these are going to be the levels that really stand out to me right away. You've probably heard me say this many times, but repetition is really how charting is done, really how analysis is, how you become a talented analyst, question mark? I don't know. I do like that we have a higher low and a higher high, but really, if we don't close above 20K, this looks pretty crappy. Not really expecting too much movement, but 20K or above, and basically what I see here is the bears have pulled the price back from last month's gains. They've retaken those gains. They've retraced them. They temporarily pulled price lower than last month's open, but the bulls did defend it. So we're seeing a tiny bit of bullish strength, but on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like a 2. Failing or protecting, rejecting the bearish engulf on the monthly is the bare minimum here. A close below 20K could be a very bad, very bearish signal heading into September being the last month in this quarter. And as we saw, the quarter really hasn't gone anywhere. So I do actually expect September to bring some surprises. I really don't think that we're going to see September close at 20,000. I think that this quarterly candle is going to give us something. I hope it does, or else it's going to be a really unexciting next month, won't it? There is some big news, actually, which I didn't really plan on talking about, but now that I'm kind of just winging it, I'm going to pull it up here. FedNow. I'm not actually sure how long ago this was released, but I really only saw anyone talk about it in the last 2 days, maybe. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of, I'll call them misconceptions going on, or at least assumptions, at bare minimum assumptions. FedNow is, I guess, the Fed's kind of, I'll agree to this, it is seemingly in response to the popularity rising of crypto. It is no like mystery to anyone that the SWIFT system or the current kind of international settlement system is slow, archaic. It was like built in the 90s. It's still running, or 80s even. It's still running a lot of that software. And at this point, maybe no one even really knows how to build on it. So this is their, I guess, solution, or their, I don't know. Let's say this. The misconceptions are this. I've heard a lot of talk. Took a little dive into TikTok yesterday. Don't ever go to TikTok, fam. Don't do it, especially not for live crypto broadcasts. I just saw 99% scams. It was either flat out scams, people trying to sell you like books of information, but it's just like candlestick patterns and saying, oh, you'll make 100 million% profit. Look, there's a bullish engulfing candle. That means, don't go there. That wasn't my point. So the misconceptions were that FedNow is a blockchain based settlement system. They're claiming it's going to be 24/7 and that the settlement will be instant. Now, I can see why someone might assume this. I don't understand why they would go out and tell the world that it's a blockchain-based system or a cryptocurrency, because nowhere, and I looked, I've gone over this site, I'll admit maybe I haven't looked at every single tab, every page, but from every piece of information we have, the words cryptocurrency, blockchain, peer-to-peer aren't used. And in fact, FedNow kind of humorously used, I think it was A2A. There are a lot of similarities here. A2A meaning account to account, P2P, peer-to-peer. That's what we kind of tout in the crypto world. But as we know it, this doesn't have anything to do directly with cryptocurrency, though I will make the concession that it does seem a little bit along the lines of the Fed maybe panicking and putting out something because their system is, 40 years old at this point, and everyone knows it sucks. I mean, really, it costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Something I don't really understand about it, and I don't even really know where the page is, but basically, the way they describe this is the FedNow will be an intermediary, essentially adding just another middleman into this whole process. Please tell me if the music is too loud, by the way, guys. Last time it was way too loud in the beginning. Basically adding just another intermediary in the settlement process. I'm not exactly sure how that will make it faster, but that is their claim. We'll definitely look into this more, and I'll do more research on this as time goes on, and I'll keep you guys up to date. I don't believe that this in any way threatens cryptocurrency. It may be in response to, they haven't said that, but it's not a threat. Bitcoin, let's just talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was not created for instant settlement. That's not the point. In fact, we could do instant settlement. We're just on this crappy old system. And I heard people on TikTok saying like, oh, this is better than cryptocurrency. It's all going to die after this. Instant settlement was never the reason for this. Permissionless, decentralized, inflation schedule. None of these things are instant settlement. And even we hear that a lot in crypto with different currencies. Oh, there's so many transactions per second, so fast, blah, blah, blah. That's cool and that's great because it is better than the existing system. However, that isn't the problem that cryptocurrency set out to tackle. In no way does FedNow tackle the things that cryptocurrency set out to tackle. So that's my hot take. I don't know. We'll move on. Real quick, let's do this, guys. Definitely check out the links in the video description below. Join our Discord. Jump in the Telegram group if you hate Discord. Make sure you guys are hitting the likes and subscribes. And shout out to our sponsors. We've got Bybit, Market Cipher, and Femex. I personally use both of those exchanges and Market Cipher in my analysis. You'll see me doing it live today. Very high quality, industry leading, all three of them. You guys know I wouldn't do work with anybody who wasn't top of the line. They wouldn't be crown quality. So check those out. They keep us going. They keep the lights on. And let's jump into some more analysis now that I got that out of the way. So not really much to see on the monthly here outside of what we have already discussed. Let's go into the weekly time frame. The weekly is absolutely not looking super hot. I think that is apparent to everyone. I don't think anyone is particularly bullish right now. And who could blame you? Who could blame you? We didn't even backtest May's low. We failed to make it that high, and now we've fallen down in the last 2 weeks. And into this week, we've really seen very little price action. We haven't seen the open of last week tested, and it does look like the low or the close of last week has been respected so far. I could put a line here, and I think if I was being very thorough, I would put a line here. But at this point, you have three values that are really close together, and that's kind of just going to clog our chart up. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to leave it for now, but I'll probably end up deleting them. I think what makes more sense than having 3 horizontals virtually at the same price is we just make a little box. Make a little box and say, this has served as support. So while we're above this, let's say 19.3 to like 19.9 or 20,000 level, that's a support zone. If we break below it, things get very ugly very quickly. That's my personal opinion. What's Market Cipher saying on the weekly? It was showing us a little bit of goodness, but it doesn't seem to be following through here. Our VWAP is pointing down. Our money flow looks to be going back down. Money draining out of the market, and momentum, our oscillator right here in blue, also agreeing. The only kind of bullish thing, and this is not huge, is we do have our RSI. You can see this red line has turned green, and that signifies that RSI is lower than Stoch RSI. Probably confusing, and I may actually have said that in reverse, and maybe Stoch RSI is lower than RSI. Either way, typically when we see this happen, historically, with pretty good probability, when RSI is lower than Stoch RSI, that does tend to lead to upside moves. We saw in March of 2020, coming off of that 3,000 low, the same thing happened, and that carried us all the way till October of 2020, which actually really doesn't serve my example well. Maybe I should plan these out, because you can see that was only at 15K, price went all the way to 69. So that was not a great example. However, the takeaway is pretty good, is when this happens on virtually any time frame, it is a hint that we may see upside price action. We definitely don't have it on the charts yet. Our most important moving average, or at least historically has been, sitting right at 23.3 as we predicted. However, unlike we predicted, we have not seen a back test of it. That wouldn't surprise me. If you're sitting out there feeling bearish, I don't blame you. However, I don't think this is the probable move. If you're looking for lower, this is likely still, in my opinion, the probable move. A back test of that 200 on the weekly. We can say that that was a back test, and it was, but we closed multiple candles above and then kind of drained out of there. This would be a much cleaner technical move, in my opinion, the more probable one. Our 618 retracement from our 25.2 high to our 19.5 low, our 618 you can maybe see, zoom in, maybe see, very close to that 200, which is very close to our monthly level. So just like below price, we can take our rectangle tool and say, hey, likely some resistance right here. I think that's a pretty reasonable claim, that if we make it up to this point, likely you're going to find some selling. So let's make this red to signify resistance. Boom. I think that's really all we got on the weekly. Very clean. Very clean. Zone of support below, zone of resistance above. Let's go to the day, and all of a sudden my boxes are gone. Womp. Real quick, I'll make sure these are back on. There we go. I mess with my charts too much. Clearly. There we are. Okay, down to the day. Absolutely going to place a descending high trend from our high points here. 1 second. Make this cleaner. Extend that out. And that fits pretty perfectly. We can see that this descending high trend was tested even on today's candle before it found sellers rejected for the moment and is now trading lower. However, key takeaway, still above 20K. Here's a nice little rhyme I just made up on the spot. Let's hope it works when I say it out loud. It did in my head. Above 20K, it's okay. Yeah, that was terrible. I take it back. Just strike that from the record. We'll edit that out. On the day, we definitely have some local resistance here from yesterday's open. The previous day's close, 20,003. Easy peasy. Easy peasy peasy. Looks like we already even rejected from there. You know, this is a very weird chart pattern. We were definitely looking at this potential. We had an ascending wedge. I said this could also be an ascending channel. Either way, probability would say this is going to look to break to the downside. It did, and we've had some pretty red days since. We do have, so you don't really need that. We do have, let's see, some consolidation, but that's really not much of a hope considering we saw that previously in August before falling again. We do still kind of hold on to this low. It isn't lower than July. That does feel like it's moving the goalpost a little bit. However, we will have bullish divergence if this does hold and we move back up to that 200. we'll have bullish divergence as RSI here is lower than its previous low, despite the price not moving lower. Let's see Market Cipher. Market Cipher actually on the daily looking not so bad. We see momentum. We have a green dot here, momentum looking to move back to positive. What really sells it for me though is right here. We got to zoom in. Let's zoom in. What sells it for me is right here. Two things. One, VWAP has made a higher high. Back here, we had a little high. This one has gone higher. It did not make a lower low. Boom. That is actually pretty solid. Two, money flow went into the negative or red territory. Money was leaving the market, but this was quickly rejected. We had 3 days of this happening on the daily time frame before returning to positive. That's not bad. That so far is the most bullish thing we've seen. I like it. I like it. When we get into total market cap in a little bit here, we'll see how that differs from Bitcoin. But that's not bad. That's surprisingly good. I wasn't actually totally expecting that. To be honest, I was expecting more bearishness. 12 hour, kind of the same thing. Definitely the 12 hours caught my eye here. Market Cipher showing us something very good. We have the uneven butt cheeks pattern, which is a low with a higher low. Nice. When we get this, we do put the probability on rolling over or seeing some kind of reversal. Doesn't necessarily mean a macro reversal, but on the 12 hour, that does suggest that in the future there is some upside. Our money flow low recently did not break lower. That's another pretty promising sign. What I like is that there's a little hint, a very, very, very light hint of bullishness on the weekly, the daily, a little bit more, and on the 12 hour even more. So we can kind of see that moving into these lower time frames. I'm not getting excited over this yet, but this isn't bad. This is every bottom starts with a little bit of good. So we got to see that 12 hour continue to show strength. VWAP made a higher high. Those are some promising signs on the 12 hour time frame for sure. Even if all those things line up, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to make it past 23.3. This is going to be, as I said earlier, a very strong resistance. This is not going to be super easy to break through. Instead of going through all of the time frames, let's just go down to really low time frames. Let's see what might be happening during this live stream right now today. I don't like how green that is. I want this to be less green. There we go. Thank you. Okay. What might be happening right now today? Market Cipher definitely not looking super bullish on the 5 money. The flow down here is pretty low. We may see some divergence off this low. Not bad. We're definitely going to be looking at more time frames to get a better look. I am going to add on. I'm going to add on my RSI. Now, Market Cipher does have RSI on it, as we talked about earlier. Stotch RSI and regular RSI had crossed. But it is it's probably my only critique of the entire indicator is it is difficult at times due to the way it scales on the side to really see divergences. So actually I'm going to throw on MACD as well. I like my MACD. It's just a cool sounding thing, really. We're going to throw this on here. We don't need them to be super big. We just need them on. Not much there. We really aren't seeing divergence. This is on the 5 minutes, so we don't necessarily expect it, but we don't see any divergence really on our lows. We have a lower low in price and a lower low in RSI. Same with MACD. They're in agreement, which is pretty much a neutral signal. It's not telling us anything. Moving to the 15, we have a little bit, that divergence starts to kind of peak out here with this lower RSI. We have our lower price here. RSI moved down, and in fact, we did look like we touched oversold and began moving back up. That's typically not a terrible sign. Money flow is in the red. VWAP is pulling it back up. Nothing too spicy yet. Some tells me into this daily close we will have some spice, but nothing super spicy at this moment on the 5 or 15. What's up, E-Train and Blurtsy? My dudes and or gals and or whatever you identify as. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing. It's great to have you here, guys. If you're sitting out there and you haven't subscribed or hit the like button, please smash them. The more you do it, the more people will find this stream. It's worth it, and I appreciate you. Good to have people. Don't forget to join the Discord if you're tuning in for the first time, or if you're tuning in not for the first time. You haven't joined the Discord, jump in there. We also have a Telegram group in the video description below if you prefer that. Kind of noodly. The bull's not showing too much strength. 30-minute, I think, is siding very short-term upside. We see momentum pinching. We see VWAP moving up. But man, that is not strong. That is not strong. You have a lower low off of a lower high. Not a lot of strength, and we have a dip into negative money flow. So far, I think we have potential maybe to move back up to 20.3 during this live, but these low time frames definitely not showing us a lot of hope. In the next 7 minutes, we might close a waning momentum candle on the 30. Yeah, not a lot of spice there. Money flow on the hour, slightly higher than the previous money flow high. We see that right here. Despite momentum not mirroring that, what we do see is maybe our lows coming up and our highs coming down, creating consolidation, which is usually the primer for a strong or volatile move. What I do like, and kind of I think is I'm going to stick with, is pretty much on all these time frames we've seen our yellow here, our VWAP moving back to that 0, pointing up a little bit. That again may just be a retest of 2003. Not really super exciting. I think if you want to be a little bit more outlier, you want a little bit higher target, 2007, right here. 2007. Well, this definitely doesn't fit a classic head and shoulders pattern. A backtest of 2007 and a rejection would give us all the pieces we need to draw a head and shoulders. We have a left shoulder, a head, a potential right shoulder, a neckline break at 20,700. That was a really smooth, clean, straight line. And if we move back to it, there you go. There's your entry. The classic head and shoulders entry for a short. That would be, for the right trader, a very easy play. Probably should say none of this is financial advice. I'm just walking you guys through the charts. I don't have any kind of motive here. If you haven't been here before, I'm just walking through the charts. I do this every day anyway. And over the last 3.5 years, I found that there's a bunch of you that enjoy watching me do it. And I love all of you. You all are great. It's much more fun than just doing it by myself. So 20,007, I think I would break us out of this trend line, but that would not be a bad potential scalp price. Would not be bad. 4 hour, man. So we're really just not getting much. We're not getting much. Not at all. Overall, so very short time frames. Maybe we're looking for 20,003. Maybe we're looking for 20,007. But most of these we've looked at, it takes about out to like the 12 hour, and even then, it's an implied future bullish move. Not looking super great. It is the end of the month, and at the end of the month, we can see kind of out of nowhere events. It's happened before. But at this point, the charts, at least for this stream, not looking for much upside at this point. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I'm wrong often, by the way, guys. I'm wrong often. Hopefully just less often than most. I think I can make that claim. I'm wrong less often than most. Let's check up on our in-stream trade. So this is something I wasn't wrong about, but on donch. We have been short for what feels like an eternity, and we still are. Update on funding. Funding has continued on Femex, one of our beloved sponsors. Funding has continued as we've held this short to go more and more negative. This is not a good thing if you're short like we are. The reason being is we are paying 0.05% of our capital in this trade to keep it open. And that is every 8 hours. You can see that little timer next to it. We have 6 hours and a half before that funding kicks in. This could change. However, throughout the last few days, we have seen negative funding. I kind of expect it to be negative funding. Something that is spicy, though, is when this funding round ends, it will be the end of August. So maybe that's the time we'll see it kind of shake up. As well as I will say this, I'll include this. Negative funding, especially over a long period, and the more dramatic it becomes. Right now at negative 0.05, that is a very dramatic negative funding. Dramatic negative fundings tend to lead to short squeezes or upside. The same is true with very heavy positive funding. If we were in a long position right now, we would be being paid to keep it open. If you can do the math in your head, if funding remains the same every 24 hours, we are paying 0.15-ish% to keep this open, and that does eat through your capital. This trade at one point was, this trade's been in everything. It's been red, it's been green, it's been whatever. At one point we had realized about $80 in profit. We were in the green, realized, and funding took that all away. We were all the way down to like maybe negative $40 on funding or realized P&L. We did close a large position. There's no changes since the last stream, but we did close a large piece of this short at 19.98. So we're still above that price a little bit. We realized just under $400 in P&L. But if price were to, let's put it, I have an interesting way to put it. If price were to just move sideways indefinitely, eventually I would get liquidated. Now that would take weeks and weeks or months and months, but eventually I would get liquidated because that funding would eat away all of the capital in this trade. So this is not ideal. I say this to you guys all the time. I don't like to pay to keep a position open. However, this is as it was when we started a hedge position, and so I'm a little bit more lenient with keeping it open. If I was scalping, well, if I was scalping, I wouldn't have this position open. But I don't like to be with the funding, meaning when it's negative, I like to be long, and when it's positive, I like to be short. And so this is kind of uncomfortable. Basically waiting for a break to the downside. I don't have any orders near price, mostly because we had a big one close at 19.9. I'm going to zoom this down. Here's where my orders are. Please don't just randomly copy trade me. There is more to a trade than just an entry and an exit and a stop loss. It's not that simple. If you just blindly copy me, it's not going to go well. Do your own research. That's the whole point of this stream, is to watch me do some analysis, and then you go home and you do your own charts and you make your decision for yourself, because that's the only trade that's ever going to work for you. I promise. I've seen people try to do the opposite. It does not work out well. Our only take profit below us right now at 15.4, below that at 13.9 and 10.9. At this point, anything is on the table. I don't believe that they will hit. However, I didn't believe that we would retest 19K. I didn't believe that we would hit 17K either. So anything is possible. Anything is possible at this point. That's enough. That's enough for our trade recap. Two spicy charts, and we'll come back to Bitcoin. In fact, let's zoom it in, and we're going to set very tight alerts. So while we're on this stream, we know if there's some volatility. At the moment, we're not really seeing signs of volatility. See just kind of consolidation. This highs coming down, lows coming up. But those alerts will let us know if there's any movement while I go into these other charts. The dollar. The dollar has been on our radar for so long. We talk about it every day. You guys are sick of it, I know. But it is so important. It is so important. I did schedule out the FOMC meeting for September. I know that's really far in advance. I was getting some slack for it. I can't wait for it, though. They're my favorite days of the month. I hope you guys tune in then. What is up, Fizzifo? How you doing, my friend? Welcome. Welcome to our family. It's great to have you. We looked at this in the last stream. We'll look at it again. We won't waste too much time because we can see on the daily, actually, I realized that the 24-hour and the daily are different on Dixie because of when it opens and closes. It's weird. But same on the daily, not a lot of movement. We see high wicks and low wicks, but candle closes pretty much remaining in the 108, 107. I would consider this consolidation above previous resistance still. I would still consider it that. I'd need to see a break of kind of this low, maybe 107. I really would feel much more comfortable with the Dixie down 104. I'd feel much more comfortable. At this point, I think it's going to come down to what the Fed does next, and as I've been speculating, prophesizing, that the Fed is going to keep doing these hikes because they're nowhere near their goal of battling inflation. There's another actor that can tell them what to do, and that's Congress. Congress/Treasury. They control the purse, as I learned in political science. And they may come in, and I think it's actually highly probable. I think it's highly probable because the Fed does not, they don't see unemployment numbers at anything where they're going to base their decisions off of it. Inflation numbers have not been coming in a way that is significantly changed. So I think they're going to keep on course with their hawkishness, but I believe that before they actually can achieve their goal, Congress is going to come in and sign new money into the markets. All of what we saw basically through 2020 to, I don't know, this year, all of the rise can pretty much be attributed to the trillions of dollars we imagined into existence and bought stocks with. The Fed was dedicated now to reversing that, to taking that money back, destroying that imaginary money. But I'll tell you, history has shown us that humans are not very good at this. Once we imagine money, we tend to just imagine more money to solve the problems that imagining money created to begin with. That's where we are now. And that's why I think Congress is going to pen into existence a bunch of money before primaries to make them look good. Humans cannot be trusted with this. I didn't plan on talking about this, but this is the reason Bitcoin was created. As humans, throughout the entire existence of currency, if humans were able to create it, it was an inevitable slide into hyperinflation. If we have the ability to do so, we will do so. We are terrible at planning. We are awesome at planning for tomorrow. We're awesome at planning for maybe a month, 3 months from now, maybe at most a year from now. But once it goes beyond a year from now, we are garbage at planning. We don't think of the consequences. That's what always leads into this situation. It's easier to print your way out than it is to fix problems. I think that's what we're going to do, and I don't think it's a bad solution, actually. If that money goes to adding value into the U.S. economy, meaning building roads, building infrastructure. In my opinion, solar panels, nuclear power plants, fission, renewables, things that add value. Actually, let's add on to that chip processing plants, which we have seen penned into existence recently. I think it was this year, big chip plant. Those things add value. We need to produce more. If we're going to make more money, we need to produce more goods. It's that simple. The problem is when we printed money, like in 2020, that money did nothing. We handed it out like candy, didn't really even ask for any of it back, and it got just put in people's pockets. It was absolutely abused. It added I would say it added no value to the economy. You and I got like, what, 2K total over the course of 2 years? We got 2K, but per taxpayer, the money printed, I believe the sum is close to $90,000 per taxpayer. That goes to show you just how little they give a crap about you and me, and how much they care about these numbers going up, right? 90,000 for each of us. Guess who pays that? The answer is we don't really, but we do in some ways. We pay back some of it. I don't know. I'll trade you $2,000 of mine for $90,000 of yours any day of the week. I got distracted. The dollar, Dixie. This is a measurement. It is not actually the dollar. It is a measurement of the strength of the dollar versus a basket of 7 major currencies, very heavily weighted on the euro, which we're going to look at next. Not a lot of update, even though I rambled for a while. Same position. We're seeing higher highs on the Dixie and lower highs on our RSI. This is classic bearish divergence, and if it continues to play out, technical analysis would suggest the Dixie has some downside ahead of it. I don't have much more to add to that. You can see here these little arrows. I have my alert set basically at the high and at the low, and until then, this is trading sideways. It may be waiting for some kind of catalyst. We'll find out. This is the euro is on my radar for sure. It's probably been in the news. You've probably seen it in the news. Euro versus dollar. So the euro is a huge portion of the Dixie. It's about 50% of the weighted basket. They may end up changing that. Similarly to how we renamed a recession because it was inconvenient and didn't look good, we may just rename the Dixie so that the euro doesn't matter as much, and we'll add in weight to other stuff that isn't pumping it so hard. But the euro had broken parity. Let's see, it broke parity first in July of 22, this year. It did bounce and made a lower low. Now, this is not a very strong looking chart. You hit a lower high, a lower low, and now really slowly creeping up. This is not looking good. But it did retake parity as of like right now. It did retake parity, meaning 1 euro equal $1. Easy, easy. If we see the dollar or Dixie continue to rise to the 121 level, the euro very likely moving down to about 85 cents to the dollar. This would be pretty rough. I'm not going to get into all of the things. I'm not going to get into everything because I could talk forever, man. This could be pretty rough for everyone around the world. And if the Dixie goes high enough, pushes high enough, this is why I think also that will print money, that'll cause just global defaults. Like countries will default on their debt, and what happens when that happens? Everyone gets screwed. So on the euro, I am looking for, let's say, a 618 retracement, though it's not really on our trades here. We did get stopped out ever so slightly. They always snipe us. I could see a very effortless return to 101.8. That would be our 618 retrace from our high to our low. We could see rejection there. Or as our trade that we made forever ago, our hypothetical, by the way, in-stream trade. I'll get rid of this so you can see it better. You still can't really see it. Either way. Looking for 103.5. That was previous support. Looking to backtest it as resistance and fall. Maybe some slick opportunities for the right Forex trader at both of those values. But yeah, pretty unimpressive at the moment. Just really slowly, and I hate to say it, kind of looks like Bitcoin. With like the fall and then just really noodle-ish consolidation up. I mean, that's how you make a momentum like not looking super strong. I'm going to absolutely need to see the euro above 1.03 to believe that it's going to look for any significant upside. Boom. Let's look at some stocks. So we're just going to look at S&P 500 because honestly, these indices pretty much represent the country as a whole. It isn't that simple, but it's much easier than looking at individual stocks, which fluctuate wildly in comparison. Ba-boom. All right. We were talking last time we had this pulled up. We were looking for 4,300. It happened. And we were looking for a rejection into a higher low. Now, that doodle obviously invalidated, though it weirdly did kind of seem to reverse there for a minute. S&P 500 created a gap above it in the 4,200 area. Wouldn't surprise me to see that fill. However, this is looking really freaking ugly. I've heard a lot of people talk about how this looks like 2000 and... 2000? 2000. I'm not going to go back and look. How it resembles 2000, and I will say this, I agree that it does not look like the past maybe 5 or 10 years. If we zoom out, we don't see... Oh, there it is. Actually, it kind of looks like 2015. Potentially. You need to see it break out to the upside for that really to matter. But we see kind of a 45-degree angle climb with these spikes down. Even March 2020 spiked down and almost went right back to like the mean. Right back to that kind of imaginary... there's too much on this chart. Make it copy real quick. And I know you guys, I'm sorry I haven't read the chat yet. Let me get through like just this. Let me get through this. This is the last thing. And then I'll read a lot more of the chat. So stay here. Don't leave. I'm not ignoring you. I love you all. Let me get through the through stocks really quick. And then we'll just do some vibing and chilling. So you can see like pretty clean. Let's call this a demand line. Pretty clean. A little variation from it, but in general, it was kind of moving on this path. It would get sold off and it would return. It would get sold off, it would return. This is the price action we see here is starting to look very different. This is not a quick spike down and return to the mean. This is a sell-off into a lower high, into a lower low, into potentially what looks like a lower high here. Maybe I will go back and look at it quick. We're going to have to go to a higher time frame. Looking much more, 2000, like something like this. Like a potential multi-year weakness. Lower highs, lower lows. Weak climb up, let's see, that was like basically a double top on the S&P 500. Fell again, and that's when we entered this climb. Not looking super hot. Not looking super hot, man. Hopefully that made sense. It does have some kind of support at, I'll say 3,800. But honestly, actually, I'm going back to that clean chart. Going back to that clean chart. This is much easier to see. That's why we start new charts all the time, but we do reference our old charts. It's good to know what we were thinking. Boom. March is high. So this would be the logical point to keep our eyes on. It's about 3,300, 3,400. And the reason it would be the logical point is it was the resistance in which we rejected in March. We fell. We consolidated there and then moved higher. This is where the Fed, when they use the term soft landing, this is likely whether they know it or not, what they mean. A fall down, let's say it looks like this, to about 3,400, and a recovery from there. That would be a soft landing. That is absolutely on the table, but I think it has way more to do with the dollar, which we've gone over, than it does really anything else. Be realistic. 33, 34, we'll call it 3,400. I'm even going to set an alert there. Let's set an alert. I'm just going to say SP 500. I'll do it in caps. Is or was the landing soft? Let's put a lull in there, because in the future, when I see that, that'll make me probably laugh out loud. So there you go. There's your soft landing. Maybe let's throw Market Cipher Beyond here and just see if there's anything interesting. And RSI. RSI lower highs. No real bullish divergence. You didn't get bullish divergence off your low. You didn't get... This is like the only good thing on the day, and I know we can go into bigger time frames, but there was no bearish divergence on the day on this high. That isn't positive, it's just not negative, it's neutral. With price moving down, I think everyone can imagine some kind of inverse head and shoulders here. Something like this, where we move up. Sure, that could happen, but we're gonna need to see not only a reversal, but we're gonna need to see a break of... It isn't clean. I'll say neckline right about here, 4,300. A break of, we can just say a break of that high. We'd have to see a break of the high, a pullback, and a test of support to move higher. I'm not betting on it until the money printers go brrr again. Brrr again. Surprised I didn't get an alert. Our alerts were... Did I get an alert? I didn't hear one. That was weird. I did want to own up to last stream, what we were looking for. Our analysis wasn't super off. It did not quite touch our 2,000 or 20,000 target. However, it did close bullish engulf on the daily, which we were looking for. I didn't see this coming. Moved higher, moved back lower. Our analysis was somewhat on point. We did see more downside, but we never actually hit our target, which is what I was hoping for personally. This is a weird chart. Like, this is a weird chart. You have potentially a double bottom, you have a high, you have a lower high, and now what are you doing, Bitcoin? I don't really even know. Let's see. You're dipping back into support. I guess, like we said at the start of the stream, low time frames, I wasn't seeing anything super spectacular. You had to kind of look farther out to see evidence of upside, and maybe that's it. Maybe this is it playing right now. No, I'm not some kind of magician. This just really isn't a huge move yet. It's not even 1%. Our low has not been broken from today. Yeah, but that's a spicy candle. I'll say that's a spicy candle because as we got off the Bitcoin chart, we were looking kind of at this little consolidation. And it does look like that's breaking to the downside. We'll have that more confirmed if we break today's low right there. And I think I got through all the things I wanted to get through. I think I did, so now I can read the chat, finally. Whew. My ADD, here we go. Friday, jobs report. There's a lot of spiciness in the future coming. Good point, William. The Fed CPI heavily based on non-farm payroll. Job report. Oh, and unemployment. Very impactful to both of those things to monetary policy for sure. James Ladesma, can we short now? You can short whenever you want, brother. I like to short when things are up. Is this up? Not really. Not so much. That decision's up to you. I don't see much bullishness today. I love to be wrong when I say that. Where does the soft landing level on SPX put BTC? That's a good question. So if it follows, I would say probably the most like equivalent. Let's go to the week. It's a cool question. It's one I haven't actually thought about. And so I like that you asked it because now I'm going to think about it. Well, let's see. Marches high into the crash. I think the logical levels are pretty much always the same. Our major supports. If we want to say it's identical, no. If we want to say it's identical, I still think we're going to take this high. From 2009, 13,800. This is a level that has haunted me since late 2020. At as we were streaming then, and people were like, should I buy it now? Should I buy it now? And after almost 3 years of bearishness, it was very difficult to give that a thumbs up. I said, well, we do have 13.8, which is a monthly resistance level from 2019's high. I said, well, we may see a test of 20K and a move back to 13.8. It never happened, so it still haunts me to this day. And on the way up, people made fun of me for saying 13.8. That would probably be the equivalent. That's a great question. Props to you, my friend. +1. +1. I like that. That would probably be the equivalent. It was the high that led into 2020's crash. If you don't, or if you reject that and say that's not right because the timing is a little off in comparison, I'll agree with you. If you want to say, no, it has to be the high right before the crash, then 10,500. 10,500 would be absolutely where I'd look. That will be, I'd say 10,500 to 10,750. This is a super significant level to Bitcoin's chart. If we pull this back even, let's see, 5, you can see that this has been in play for a long time. There we go, 10.7. It was our monthly close in June after being rejected from 13.8. We back tested it in September. We launched off of it in October. So I don't really know. I don't have the answer. But these two levels, 13.8 or 10.5 to 10.7, those would be the logical equivalents of a soft landing if we see the S&P move that way. I like that question. Actually, I'm a perfectionist. I remake charts all the time, but I'm still a perfectionist about them. Boom. There we go. It's clean and easy. The way I see it is, yes, we didn't touch 17.2. Zoom this up so you guys can actually see. We didn't touch 17.2. We hit 17.5. You can see right here, right there. Little gap. We didn't fully touch 17.2. I'll say that's validated because it's really close. And maybe that's me being picky. But below that, we really don't have anything. You could see end of 2017, early 2018, January, the only trading we did there were wicks. Just these wicks. No body closes. Inefficient price action. On the way up, we really didn't trade there. We really didn't. October closed at exactly 13.8, basically, right here, just to make everyone suspicious of the rally, and it worked. But we really didn't trade there. We launched through it. Then we launched all the way up. And then what happened? Well, unfortunately, we came back to fill it. So, could we move back to 13.8 to fill it? I would say absolutely. Could we move back to 10.5 to fill it? Absolutely, it's possible. And in fact, I would say it even would fit previous bear market cycles. If you look at your high point down to 10.8, that's an 84% retracement, which is the exact same percent retracement as the previous cycle. If it's to 13.8, that's an 80% retracement, which fits in line really well with the range of retracements we've seen. However, I'll caution you, that's what everyone's probably looking for. And so the probability of it happening, or at least it being clean, very low. Very low. 10,000 is the psychological level. I highly doubt. Though I've said that before about downside targets and been wrong, I highly doubt we test it. I don't know. I personally don't think we do. But if we do, I'll probably finally buy Bitcoin again. It's been a long time. Been a very long time since I've bought any spot. The monthly candle, 6 hours to go, and it is teasing us with sadness. Teasing us with sadness. I'm gonna make this white so I actually remember this is the engulf line. There we go. Boom. Now I'll remember. We're not very deeply below it, and really what matters to me is where it closes on the monthly. But currently we are below it. 19,985. 19,985. You're doing a good job. Thanks, man. I don't know if you're talking to me, Matt Lane, but thank you if you were. And if you weren't, that's good. Will Bitcoin drop till 19.6? How dare you? What a great name. Great to yell out loud. That is like a 1.5% move from here. Will Bitcoin ever touch 19.6? I think that really good probability. Very high probability. There's your answer. At 10K, it starts to get spicy, says Ian Mackey. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be outrageous. Like I said, that's the same retracement as the previous cycle. Yeah, it's still like... It's funny to me. So Bitcoin has this thing it does. Historically, it has never let people back in the previous cycle. Or let's say it virtually never allows people to get back in if they sold before the next cycle started. 10.5 is roughly where everyone sold who got skunked. And so to return to there would allow so many people back in, and Bitcoin really just is not that generous. I don't know if anyone ever said Bitcoin was generous or friendly, but it is not. It is hyper predatory. It is maybe the most apex predator on the planet. And so that makes me really skeptical. I don't know. It still doesn't entice me. Like I said, maybe I can buy some spot there, but like I would need to see low four figures to be like really in, to like really want to like throw a ton of money back in. When you started in crypto, highly influences what you perceive as expensive or cheap for Bitcoin. Right now, people are afraid. People are like at 20,000, which almost sounds like a joke to me, because for years people told me Bitcoin would never go above 20,000. Before that, or would never go back above 20,000. And years before that, people told me Bitcoin would never go to 10,000. I wasn't in Bitcoin at the time, but people before that said Bitcoin will never go to 1,000. Before that, people said it would never go to 100. Before that, they said it would never go to 10. And then before that, people said Bitcoin will never be worth $1. This is just gibberish internet money. Nobody cares about it. It's a joke, right? It did all those things. There's one thing I've learned overall is never doubt Bitcoin. Just don't doubt it. You don't have to be bullish on it. But if you think it'll never happen, whatever that is, it probably will. Let's see. Cisco Kid, I like the stream because I like you. I like you too, Cisco Kid. Oh, I missed some stuff. Let me catch up. Sinai Rodriguez. I don't know if I said the first name right. Hopefully I got the Rodriguez right, though. Welcome to the fam. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. Emma D tipped 5 and I was in the zone, man. You wrote me a little poem. It's above 20K. Oh, wait. You wrote me a little poem, and I love you for that. Now I will read your poem. Above 20K, it's a good day. Below 20K, the Bears are out to play. Hopefully you have a good day. I like that. Thank you, Emma. I will remember that always and forever. I appreciate that. We need more poetry up in this house. I'm not a poet, so I'm not going to contribute, but we need more poetry up in here. I also missed Elise Helot. If you're still here, thank you for subscribing. Great to have you. Anyone else who hasn't subscribed, hit that subscribe button to shout you out. I'm watching it now. I was in the zone earlier. Will Schultz said, good point, Tommy. I agree, and I appreciate that, but I don't even know what point you were talking about. But I've probably made a few good ones and a few bad ones. Do I think 25K before 15? Yes. Yeah, I do. But if, kind of in the flip side, if we hit 15 before 25, 15 is like probably like the wick bottom that no one gets to buy and it flies up. So, kind of double-edged sword there. John Ilger, aside from the money being printed, what's your largest macro effect you'll see impact Bitcoin now at the end of the year? Money being printed and interest rate hikes. Those are all balled up into like one bigger idea, though. Really, there isn't anything else. We don't have a lot of time left in the year, but yeah, there really isn't anything else in my opinion. I really think if you look at the dollar, the Dixie, and any other chart virtually, doesn't have to be Bitcoin, they're just trading opposite. The dollar is putting so much pressure on everything else that everything is just trading inverse to the dollar. I'm sure there's an exception somewhere, but the vast majority of everything is trading inverse to the dollar, and that makes sense. If a dollar can purchase more, then things valued in dollars go down because you need less dollars to buy them. It's a good question. It's a good question, John. I don't see any like real catalysts or anything. We have the halving in about a year and a half. That's a big catalyst. But that's not anywhere near the end of this year, so good question. Keep them coming. Keep the good questions coming. What's up, Cole Crypto +1 Tommy V? Casual TA Jesus 2008. 2008. Oh, that's probably back when I was looking at stocks. You know what? I'm gonna refresh this because we're gonna restart. If you have commented in the last few minutes and you have something important or something you just want me to see, say it again in the chat. Hype up the chat, and I'll catch it this time. We got 460 viewers. That's a casual day for us. I'll appreciate it. But we only have 242 likes, and that is unacceptable. We have to get 420 likes every stream, or we don't get to keep our 420 license. So right now we can do it. We have 460 viewing. If we get to 420 likes in like 2 seconds, I bet we'll have over 500 viewing because it actually does matter. We can do it right now, literally. We have 260, 270, but we have 460 watching. We could do it in this second. All right, now it is time to get back to the chat because I love you guys. What's up, Alex S? Good to see you. 420 license. Nicole Studios, first time on your stream, loving it. Smash it up. Thank you. Humbled. I'm humbled, man. I do this every day for you guys. Like, I learned through watching others, and I learned listening to others, not listening to what they told me to do, but listening, absorbing, watching, and then making my own set. I always say this, there is no one way to do TA. There's no one way. There is infinite ways to do it. What's kind of magical if you spend enough time on it is you'll find that you will come to the same conclusions as other people doing it completely differently more often than random chance would ever allow. There's something magical about charts, man. Pow, pow, pow. LFG, brother. You the man. Kevin Law, 420, you're the man. You're all the man or womans or whatever you want to be. You guys are awesome just for being here. Alexandro Sanchez, hit the like button. Thank you, guys. Hype it. We got to 320. See, we went to 270 to 320. We can get to 420 right now. Let's blow it up. Blow it up. At least how... There you are, still here. Cheers. Love you, Tom. I love you too, Remington. Hope you all are having a great day. Desert Dog. My Desert Dog. Hit that like. You're all saying likes. Who has good questions? We have some awesome questions to stream so far. I was digging it. What's up, Tommy V? Anthony Cook. How high do I think Dixie will go? I'll rehash. So this is all dependent on two things. One, the Fed continuing what they're doing. I think that is the right assumption, that they're going to continue what they're doing because they're not near their target. If that is the case, we move to 121. If nothing has changed and we continue to raise rates and continue quantitative tightening, we could see a retest of even as high as 1985, which is at about 165 on the Dixie. If that happens, I think we will have bigger concerns. I think that will be a catastrophe. 121, the world could probably survive through. 165, I think everything just defaults and just nations collapse and probably wars and things. Nothing we want. Nothing I want. Even though all of my fiat is dollars and that would like technically benefit me in ways. No, I don't want that. That's too much chaos, man. Dixie to 120. Anthony or William S knows. He knows, man. You're sick DCA when move up. You're sick of DCAing? Space Ape, there's... All right, no way. You could be sick of DCAing, brother. DCAing only gets better when price goes down. Not when it goes up. I DCA'd for a very long time. And I miss those days, you know? I didn't miss them in the moment. But once they go away in Bitcoin, they really don't ever come back. So enjoy them while you can. Michael Allen, thank you, my friend, for hitting that like button. Appreciate you. Lucky's Thoughts. Oops, I just tabbed it. And Isaac Strange has joined us. Welcome, Isaac Strange. I need a better layout. Honestly, I think I just need one more monitor. I have like plenty. I think I don't have enough GPU ports, but that's okay. I can get another GPU. Lucky Thoughts. Do I have any tips for a new YouTube creator? Bro, I have infinite tips for a new YouTube creator. Infinite tips. I can't take up the whole stream with all of them, but I'll give you like maybe my top few, man. One, prepare to create content for no one for a very long time. And I don't mean that in a discouraging way. I'm not familiar with your channel, but at least in my experience and those I've heard from others, that's how it happens. You basically are creating it for no one for a very long time. if you are consistent with it, if you just keep doing it, you push through it, good things will come to you. In fact, I don't know if you're doing crypto or what. I don't know if you're doing crypto or what you're doing. But if you're doing crypto, man, if you're a new YouTube creator, let's see, what are we at? I like the 10% rule. I think we're at 63K. 63K-ish. I'll bump that down, typically a 10% rule-ish. If you get to 5K, I'll have you on the channel. There you go. There's something to shoot for, man. Get to 5K. And that might sound like a big goal, but I promise you, the hardest subscribers, here's your second tip. The hardest subscribers you'll ever get on YouTube are the first 100. Yeah, you can go beg your friends and family, but I mean your first 100 real subscribers. Those are the hardest. That's the hardest milestone to hit. Everything after that is a breeze in comparison. So, bro, just keep it up. Don't give up. Make sure you have cash flow. Make sure like you don't go bankrupt doing this. That's the third and final tip. Those are 3 really good ones, though. I hope to see you then. Dragon modded could short squeezes push us to an all-time high. So, in general, I am weary of short squeezes. In the history of short squeezes that I've seen on Bitcoin, they have never led anywhere good. Could it? Sure. Yes. It would take a short squeeze that we've never seen before. October 2019, we had a significant short squeeze that resulted in I think it was the 3rd largest percent-wise Bitcoin candle in history. That led us to 10,500. And it sold off. Wait, no. Am I getting my dates mixed up? You know what? I'm just going to stay confident with it. I might be referring to 2019's high in July. But anyway, staying confident with it. Short squeezes, in my experience, have led basically just to immediate selling. Like, you see a big candle up and it just wicks down. So, could it? It is possible, but it would take one of an unprecedented size. Which is possible because we've had more open interest than we've ever had. But that huge candle, that was the 3rd largest ever, was 40% in one day or something, a 24-hour period. A 40% candle from here won't even bring us back to 30. So, kind of to put it in perspective, you would need something of a kind of unseen proportion. But hey, this is the cycle of firsts, and maybe that's in the cards. I don't know. Alejandro Sanchez, less than 100 likes to go. Did we get it? Did we get 420? How are we at 350? Guys, come on. Do you not want to keep your 420 license? You just want to give it up. We have almost 500 viewing. We could get those additional, guys, like 60 likes. We could do that in half a second. Just take your finger, put it on the mouse, put it over the like button, click it. Then go click subscribe and hit the bell too. Just for good measure. We can do it. We can do it. Central banks? Question mark. Central banks? Question mark. Back to you. What do you expect for Bitcoin? At the moment, man, we're wrapping up August. Don't see a lot of short-term bullishness, but our low for today is held, at least for the moment. The only thing I'm really looking for here into the daily and monthly close is for it to close above 19,985, or we'll say 20,000. That's really all I'm hoping. All I like really care about for the next 6 hours. Euro would collapse in that scenario, and so would many. Exactly, Anthony Cook. That's what I was saying earlier. Is the Dixie where it's at is already pushing intense pressure on everything. If the dollar breaks 221, that's about 2,000, back at 2000's high. That's going to put even more pressure. We definitely will see lots of insolvencies. We could see countries default on their debts. If we move back to 1985's high, I think we see countries like just collapse, bottom out, and that would be a really bad scenario. That is not something I'm looking for, hoping for. And to be honest, I think the greed of man will prevent that from happening, because it's easier to just print your way out. I think that will be the easier way. Good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon, Chemo and Crypto. How you doing, bro? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. I don't blame you if you've been taking a break from crypto, guys. You gotta take breaks. Don't drive yourself crazy watching charts. I'll do that. And then once you get a little itch or you get an alert go off, you come back here. I'll be live. Sylv, the beautiful Sylv. The Elon Pump. The Elon Pump. There's a good example. Good example. That was in, what, 2021 in January at like 40-ish? Something like that. Good example of a short squeeze getting sold off. There is no major energy. There was also no major energy crisis in the 80s in Europe like we have now, and it's just started. Fair. I'm not sure what your direction you were like aiming that. Accurate. When I hear energy crisis, though, I think opportunity to create solution. And I know maybe I'm inhuman when I feel that way. I think Bitcoin will be, I've been saying this for years, will be one of the strongest drivers towards renewables and towards alternate energy sources. And I think it will push us, and it will be a catalyst to push us off of fossil fuel. Been saying that for years. It does seem to be coming true. It's not true yet, but it is. The China pump in 2019, Cisco Kid, thank you for the assist. Euro to 97 cents. Yep, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see it trade back up to $1 or a penny and change, and then move back. But yeah, 97 cents, no, not off the books. Euro will get much weaker. Yeah, if Dixie hit 165, the euro would be at like, I don't know, quarter, like something. It would be. I'm not even sure we would be able to like measure it. I choose 85 cents because if Dixie hits 121 and euro hits 85 cents, they're both exactly like where they were in 2000s. Like 121 was the high, 85 was the low for euro, and I think that like really lines up well with what we're seeing now. So if dollar moves to 121, I am looking for an 85-cent euro. We'll see. Bro, are we gonna dump Saylor getting sued by DCAG for tax fraud? I don't know. We dumped a lot. Are you really worried about more dumping? Saylor getting sued, not a concern of mine for Bitcoin, to be honest. Anthony Cook, Russia, China, wars, UK. It's already having major problems with energy. Yep. Major problems with energy there is one culprit for major problems with energy. And it's our addiction to fossil fuels. We gotta get off fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were an amazing boon to the industrial era. Like, gasoline pushed us as a race forward very quickly and was a really great thing. The problem is we should have been off of that, I don't know, in the 80s, in the 90s, at the latest the 90s. We should have pushed to a new type of energy. Energy is not keeping up. It hasn't kept up. I could talk all day about how fossil fuels lobby and are subsidied into the position where they can force competition out and they can make these other renewables like inefficient or not look good, but that's kind of irrelevant. It's time. It's time, and you can see it. You can feel it. We have electric cars. Not that that solves all our problems, but it shows the transition away. And once we start that transition away, which I believe you already have, we're not going to transition back. There are better sources of energy out there, more efficient sources of energy. And I guess least importantly to this argument, sources of energy that are better for the environment. And we are going to get them. Not even 10 years. Not even 10 years. Fusion is always 20 years away, but fusion may be less than 10 years away. The stronger this crisis gets, this energy crisis, the more incentive there is to create a better solution. That's how I see it. And I think Bitcoin is going to have a big hand in that. You'll hear people talk about Bitcoin being bad for the environment. That's gibberish FUD. It's FUD written by people who don't... I mean, it's written by people who don't like Bitcoin, really. Because even the fossil fuel industry should get behind Bitcoin. I don't know who writes this stuff, but it's just gibberish. Does Bitcoin use energy? Yes. Yes, it does. Does it use a lot of energy? Well, that depends on what you're comparing it to. Does it use a lot of energy compared to how much I use in my house? Yeah. Does it use a lot of energy compared to how much energy we use to do laundry yearly? No. It's all perspective. Like, people say it uses a lot of energy, but they always have like something like more than like Portugal or something. And it's like, I don't know, man. How much energy does Portugal use? You don't know. I don't know. Bitcoin gives excess and what would be wasted energy potential a universal market to sell that energy at any time globally. Bitcoin is the single best thing we could ever have created into existence to get off of this energy addiction. Period. If you have solar panels, let's say, can supplement coal plants or something, But then nighttime comes and they're not producing energy. And so the coal plants have to like kick on again. Turning on and off these power plants is a huge waste of energy. It takes lots of time and effort. Guess what? We could just be going at full efficiency and we could be putting that energy towards proof of stake mining. Proof of stake mining also incentivizes a stronger decentralized energy grid. I could go on forever, man. Yeah, go on forever. It's not what people portray it as. It is just like literally everything else. If it's profitable, it'll be done. Doesn't matter. We've proven that for the last few hundred years. Doesn't matter what the consequences are. If it's profitable, we'll do it. And Bitcoin is profitable. And until it isn't, we'll do it. So it's just like a silly argument. I don't know. I just went on a tirade. Chad doing Chad. What's up, AZTV? You need that license. Did we get it? Did we get 420? You guys will let me know, right? Vibe Central got it. Good. Good. Yeah, Dixie 165 total chaos. Oh, but I'm refreshing. F guy with vape and shades and stream has the same long as me and I'm doomed. Well, buddy, don't you worry. The guy with the vape and the shades does not have the same long as you. Because one, my long is just my portfolio spot, baby. And two, I'm in a short, so you don't have to worry. You can tuck your precious self into bed for a nap. Sleep soundly, because nah, I ain't on that long with you. Compared to printing fiat money. Wait, I missed it. Need to go nuclear. Absolutely, we should have gone nuclear 20 years ago. It's gibberish. Shalom done. The man himself is in the house. We have a buy signal. What's that buy signal, my friend? Drop some knowledge on us. Drop some knowledge. You're already crazy, Jackie of the Carolinas. Aren't we all? We're all crazy. We're all a little crazy, man. What time is monthly close? 5 hours, 40-something minutes. Boom. Lumiol. Will privacy coins start to rally again once regulation comes? That's a good question. It's a question that we've all been asking ourselves in crypto. Is kind of when will privacy coins take off? Because privacy was a pretty big part. Now, it wasn't exactly the main goal of cryptocurrency, clearly, because Bitcoin is pseudo-private. It's not actually private. But everyone in crypto is a fan of privacy, or at least privacy security, being able to be private. We all are, or at least the OGs are. And when will that reflect on price? I don't know. Regulation could be the spark of that, but regulation could also be a drawdown on them, at least short term. Or they say, well, you can't have private coins, blah, blah, blah. Exchanges delist them. That can take some time for them to kind of reach back to their equilibrium. Now, it won't hurt them long term, 10-year time frame, but I don't know what the catalyst will be, to be honest. That's a good question. I like these good questions you guys are bringing today. G Code Jedi. Thomas speaking sustainability, not green. Two different things. True, but I'll argue, I'll be a little devil's advocate, man. You can't truly be sustainable if it isn't green, because if it's not green, and maybe we can argue about the definition of green, if it hurts the planet, it isn't sustainable forever. I guess that's where I'll leave it. 15 away from our 420 license, says Desert Dog. Nicole Studios is laughing. I haven't kept up with the chat, or I can't keep up too much. I'm getting on too many rigs. You get a nice APR on the dollar. Everything else on FTX goes down. 8% on everything. Raymond Taylor. I don't know what you're talking about. No, don't hide him. Don't hide him. Jacqueline Rose, I like the hecklers, man. Don't hide them. Keep them. Let them voice, because they just engage with the stream. Like, they might come here to spew hate, but like they just engage with the stream. And then that just makes our stream more successful. And it doesn't bother me. No, I'll have to like go manually undo it. It's okay. If any of the mods can undo it, unmute, unhide Shivang Bavar. I don't know, the heckler. Unmute him. Bring him back. Hertzier getting rid of all new gas car sales next year. I think those kind of like big moves like that are kind of silly, but I mean, at least they're doing something. Got your cocktail. Looking at the 10 pod plants in your full. Yeah, my garden is just like spewing produce now. It's wild. All this heat. We've had a lot of rain lately. It's producing. My garden looks beautiful. BCPM. What do I think about Bitcoin 360 trading AI bot? I've never heard of it. That's a red flag. But since I've never heard of it, I can't really have an opinion. My opinion, though, outside of that is be wary of anything any programs in crypto. It's very profitable to disguise things as bots or whatever, and it's just malware that steals your coins. Be very wary. If you've gotten past that point, be wary of anything that makes promises on return, like bot companies do. There is no promise on return. No bot is flawless. They tend to do well in a certain market condition, and they tend to get wrecked when that market condition changes. Shalom, you can see the bullish divergence on the 5-minute. Wait, what was your signal? Was that your signal? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Oh, maybe we're just speaking short term. You were speaking short term. Lao, I like that. Yep, the whole problem with politics. Honestly, I can summarize it this way. You can say they only care about money, but that isn't even true. Follow me. Because if they truly cared about money, they would know that there is more money to be made in the long term versus the short term. And so I'm going to reference myself and say they only care about tomorrow, next week, next month. That's it. Maybe next quarter, like maybe next year. Some of them, not all of them. Electric unicycles for everyone. F yeah, Harry. That sounds like a really entertaining world. Memory of talent. Sylph's here, I know. Why does Portugal need as much money as Bitcoin? Dude, Alex, that's a funny question. I like that. When people like bring that argument to me, I'm gonna be like, why does Portugal need so much energy, huh? Which is equally gibberish. Equally gibberish to the argument against. Total use of energy, BTC versus everyone gaming. Oh, bro, gaming blows it, probably tenfold, blows it out of the water. No one complains about people gaming. Which is, honestly, gaming is very close to Bitcoin mining, process-wise. Like, that's why many proof-of-work blockchains use GPUs. On any given day, 10 to 50% of the electricity in Texas is renewable. Well, that's freaking awesome to hear, dude. Let's get those numbers up. But I do appreciate those numbers. All right, I have to, like, refresh it again. I get distracted, and then there's too much that goes by. Unmute is easier than spelling his name. True that. If app developers actually go through with the upgrade, we'll have an inflation rate of 0.43, 90% reduction. Sure. Yeah, now I'm going to get caught up on this. Shalom, correct. That is a reduction in inflation. And that would put it under Bitcoin's yearly inflation year over year. However, one, we have to assume that I don't know the mechanics of its inflation being controlled, if it merges, if it transitions. Well, we don't know when, because they've given us dates for years now. Vitalik first talked about it in like 2015. Still not here. Now they're saying September. We'll see in September. I mean, straight up. 90% reduction in supply or in inflation is good for the price in theory. However, also there is a lot of Ethereum locked up on that contract. There's a lot of bets being made on it. I'm still not bullish on it. I might be bullish on Ethereum like down the road after the merge. We'll see how it pans out. But this is, as I've said time and time again, an unprecedented change. An unprecedented thing. We've never seen this happen before, and especially not at this scale. Ethereum is the #2 market cap in crypto. It has to be flawless, man. Crypto, there's no backsies. If they goof it up, even if they don't goof it up, who's to say that will really, I mean, long term will matter, but short term really matter. And then also you have to factor in the like value even in Bitcoin isn't necessarily just its inflation or its supply, but also the infrastructure investments, the hardware investments, and the electrical cost. Those are all the raw materials that create Bitcoin, which intrinsically or logically should be tied to its value, and Ethereum scrapping those. We've never seen it happen. I don't know. Will that be negative or positive? I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm down. I'm still holding a bunch of Ethereum, but we'll see. Honda Mang and LUNC made 100% gain. Bros, please, I don't know. You do what you want with your money, but Luna Classic is such a degen idea. And especially in a bear market, to be buying a coin, there's like, I don't know, 800 billion or 800 trillion of them. I don't even know how many the supply is now. Like, just Be careful. Be careful, fam. Don't get yourself wrecked thinking that it's, you know, Shiba, it's going to go to $1. Google unit bias. Google unit bias. Activision coin is coming. I like it. All they care about is power. True. Dying political base. Yeah. I'm not going to get into the politics, but I don't disagree. Thoughts on Holland? Farmers protesting. I don't know. I'm not aware. I'm not sure why they're protesting. Usually I do support protest in general as expression, but I don't know. I don't know about the topic. I don't know why they're doing it, and probably will get political, so moving on. Smart money is buying. Hurry up, you're all in. Fair enough. Dogecoin. Doge. What token options will Ethereum miners have after the merge? That's a good question. That's a good question, Gordukes. Let's see. Well, it has to be GPU mineable, not ASIC mineable. What comes to mind to me would be obviously Ethereum Classic. Obviously. Bitcoin Gold. Vertcoin. There are not... Ooh, no, that's CPU. Monero's CPU. Those are the three I can name off the top of my head. I'm sure there are more, but GPU mining really just hasn't been, like, I don't know, doesn't mean it's bad. I think it's great. I think ASIC mining, though Satoshi did foresee it and write about it, though he didn't use the word ASIC because it didn't exist. I don't think they're a good thing. I don't think ASIC mining was like a good advent, but it, like I said, Satoshi wrote about it in different words. It was something they saw coming. Kind of just the inevitable march of progress, I suppose. But those are the three I can name. I'm sure you can go on like CoinGecko and find out like a list of them. Merge will be legendary, says Michael Silberg. All right, I'm ready. If the upgrade occurs, I think, I mean, you know as well as I do, Shalom, it will eventually. Just when is eventually? To go the way of BitConnect? No. BitConnect was an outright like scam. There's a difference between decentralization, centralization, and just straight scam rug pull. Two bros mining. I already did one give backsies. Well. They can't goof this up. Did I see Vitalex Hog? I think I was the only person not tweeting about the items that are clearly items in Vitalex Pocket, but if you're asking if I saw that, yes, I saw that picture. You think, oh, CKB or Ravencoin. Is Ravencoin GPU only? I don't know. If it is, there you go. Add it to the list. Having a cocktail. Watching his crops grow. You can mine Monero with GPU if you know how. I don't know how. But as to my knowledge, Monero is CPU. Matthew Lowry, can I look at LNC, please? It's been on fire. Guys, please don't wreck yourselves on this crap. Luna Classic is Luna Classic because it failed. I'll look at the chart. I'll pull up the chart, but like, just please don't wreck yourselves. Please don't wreck yourselves. So this is a misrepresentation of the price of Luna. So if this were truly the chart, this would be a pretty sweet chart. This is a pretty sweet chart, but this is not truly the chart. The chart is truly... Oh, I scaled too much. This is pretty much the chart truly. Something like that. That's the chart. So that's the chart. Luna, the coin, was at like 200, maybe I'm misspeaking, is in the 3 digits. And then their algorithmic Do Kwon BS printed infinite Lunas basically to stabilize their UST, which it didn't, and it collapsed. This is not a good chart. This is a rug pull chart. But if we want to look at just this, like this looks good in a bubble, right? In a bubble. But this just isn't the reality of it. It's not the reality of the coin. Unit bias. I'm going to type it in all caps in the chat. Google unit bias. And I should just put out a video on it instead of just saying that all the time. Hey, we got 440 likes. Right on. Right on. 420 license secured for another day. Well, if they postpone the merge, then it's really just SSDD, right? Same shit, different day. Because the merge has been coming for 5 years. People talking about pre-sale Amazon token. Is it real? Som Tam Tang. Dude, absolutely that is a scam. And if I'm wrong, I'd be happy to be wrong, but it's absolutely a scam, and it's not the first time that exact scam has been tried. Drop 99.9999%, now up 20%. But even fundamentally has worse problems than that, man. Like, fundamentally has worse problems than that. But yeah, exactly. Things have gone down 99.99%, then gone back up. But this is not likely to be one of them. This fell to this value for a reason, because the total supply was expanded to like billions and billions or whatnot. The future of good coins are with multi-algo mining coins. You mean like Litecoin and Dogecoin? Now you're speaking my language. That way they can switch out algos, quantum computing tax the future. Well, I won't focus on that part of it, but hey man, I don't disagree, and I kind of wonder why Bitcoin isn't merge mined with something. Though I don't think it would be good for Bitcoin's price. I have thought of that in the past. I don't know what you're referring to. It started with 21 million coins. No ICO, no VC. Genesis mining fair launch. I don't know what you're referring to, but I like it. Whatever it is, I like it, man. I'm on page with that. No ICO, no VC, no IDO, whatever. No pre-mine. Fair origin Genesis block mining is the only truly decentralized cryptos that exist. Now, it doesn't mean that all cryptos that aren't that are bad. It just means they aren't truly decentralized, and that just might not matter to you. And that's okay if it doesn't matter to you. It matters to me, but it doesn't have to matter to you. I'm looking at CoinGecko and nothing is really moving. Biggest gainer, CRV, 12%, but 7-day you're still down. Looks like Near Protocol is about even for the last week, about 10% up today. There are some things that are up, but almost nothing is up versus where it was a week ago. Nothing I'm willing to look at. I see like a bunch of exchange coins and crap. Nothing's really moving. What's down today? Not much is down today either. Not a very spicy 24 hour, to be honest. Very few coins with even double-digit gains. And we're talking things as small as half a bill ski market cap. Funny to be saying as small as, at one point, Bitcoin wasn't that big. Did I miss any subscribers? I probably saw him. Temang, there he is. Hopefully I just saved you from a scam, bro. Hopefully. That's what we do here. Thanks for subscribing, my friend. Everyone who did subscribe or is about to, I'll shout you out, but join the Discord. We'll do a live airdrop after the stream like we do every stream. All you have to do is be in there. Get some free sats. Mariju, I'll make you all holders, haha. Mariju D. Guzman, subscribe, welcome. Wannabe MTG Ow, welcome. Berhernit Kod Katana, subscribed. Stevo Ishak. Ooh, I can't pronounce this one either. Tiofui Jaft. There it is. And the stream is buffering, which may be, we'll see. It's buffering, that's not good. Ian Mackey, YouTube held your comment because it had the F word in it. But I'll read it outside of the F word. All the exchanges should delist Luna and tell Do Kwon to go redacted. But they won't because degens keep trading it and they want the money. Yeah, they want the trading volume. You're absolutely correct. And you guys do what you want. You make your own financial decisions. I don't give financial advice. But if you're part of this community, that means you have some level of trust in me. And I care about you. I mean, if you're here, you know that, probably. I don't want you guys to get wrecked, man. Just don't do the degen thing here. Like, if you are absolutely obsessed and can't fight the urge, just buy like $10 worth of it. You'll get like 1 trillion of them anyway, and then if it goes to whatever $1 million target you have in your mind, you're a bajillionaire, you're good. But if you throw all your money into it, you're very likely it's going to end up with very little. If you throw your money into it on leverage, well, then just rest in peace. You're done, probably. Tommy V, good projects are having trouble bringing in new liquidity. Ask yourself, where did all this new interest in Lunacy coming from? Tommy V, really good question here. Excellent question. And the answer is bots. Bots, man. Yesterday, Miss Teen Crypto interviewed CZ, and I think I timed out over 200 bots that were all just saying the same thing about Lunacy, and just like very slight variation. It's mostly bots, dude. And for those of you who are new to crypto, a lot of crypto hype is fake, and it's bots. It's not real people. It creates the illusion that there's a community behind something when there isn't. Trust me, whatever community Luna had, that community does not care about Luna Classic. They might care about Luna 2, but I doubt it, because that community got just shit on. Nugent. This is a good one. Everything is a scam until a selected time. Oh, until a selected time. I thought you were going to say until proven not. Even Bitcoin. Until a selected time, even Bitcoin. I would say everything is a scam in crypto until proven not. Tokenomics is going to be the answer that'll help you wade through those waters in the earlier phases. To this day, militaries give gold to soldiers in case you're trapped behind enemy lines. I don't have any interest in gold. Zabadoo, Tom will become the face of crypto in the next bull run. Let's do it, fam. Let's do it. At the start of this cycle, I think our channel only had 10,000 subscribers. Now we're at 63. By the next peak, I could see us being at 1 million. I will be the champion for the decentralized if you guys elect me it. If you elect me it. Tom, can I invite Optical Art again? Absolutely. He has an open line. He hit me up whenever. All day, any day. I've asked if he wants to come on with me, stream. He said he'd be down to like do a collab video or something. I should follow up again. In all, you are a legend. In all caps. So 50x Luna Long, not a good idea? Well, man, you gotta make your own choices. But that's a choice I would never make with your money. With anyone's money. Everyone wants to talk about Vitalex's new pick. If you zoom in, you'll notice if that's his dong has like 2 horns. So I don't know what that means. You tell me. You tell me. Is BitBoy right at the bottom in November this year? Neither I nor BitBoy know when the bottom will be. Nor anyone. Period. No one. There are people who will get lucky guessing, and there will be people who pretend they know, but nobody knows. Not a single person. It is the unknowable, and if you can accept that, you're going to do better, I promise. That pose. Screenshot it, baby. If we are not here, we have no worries. Pure energy drifting in the cosmos. Okay. We got our 420 license, so that comment is approved. How high do you think Near will go list on Coinbase? To be honest, I would be bearish on any Coinbase listing in these market conditions. Historically, when the market has been bearish, Coinbase listings have just been big red candles. When the market is bullish, we've seen Coinbase listings occasionally lead to like pumps. That was more true longer ago. Coinbase listings very correlated with the direction of the market, the trend of the market. That's my opinion. I don't care if Catgirl is a scam. You'll still hold it. Okay. You all make your own decisions, brothers. Invest responsibly. Practice safe risk management. You're scared of Vit's dip pick? I am too. We all are. I can't believe how much everybody like jumped on that. Well, you guys can see the chart. Bitcoin is clearly looking to make a move. Clearly. Unfortunately, on the 5-minute, it's not looking bullish. I guess that's fortunate for our short. Honestly, best thing you can do for your mental health if you're a holder, open a small short position, man. Before I really like learned about hedging or used leverage at all, and again, don't do this without knowing what you're doing. Don't just randomly do it. But I'll say the price going down didn't use like it upset me at one point when I started. Then I got to a point where it doesn't upset me. It was just kind of neutral. But now when I have like a short open, now I kind of root for it too. So it's like I win in both directions. Really good for your mental health. If you're going to watch the charts, is to be betting both directions. Really good. Just feeling like you're winning is a big deal, even if it's not really real. More viewers than likes, cracking the algorithm. What happened actually was, what happened is we lost the connection. And as soon as we lost the connection, it was like right here. It was like 10 minutes ago. Viewers go down. We're probably now shadow banned. Like, not actually shadow banned, but like because we disconnected, I think YouTube like takes us out of like the discovery pool. Sharifi, Frankfurt. What do I think about Crypto as an analyst? I don't talk smack about other people, especially not people in this space. Crypto is a pioneer in the YouTube crypto world. I do not personally consider him an analyst. There we go. I'll just leave it at that. I bet it, like, I'd love to meet him. I'd love to chat with him. He could change my mind. But that's all I'm gonna say. Seems like a nice guy. Jumped on that. Coinbase is a meme exchange. Coinbase used to be the only. Coinbase was everything. Shorting to 12K. All right, let's rock and roll, baby. If we get to 12K, our short position will still be open to some degree. If you knew last year you'd be in huge gains, yeah. Dude, nobody wins off the bat in crypto. I'm telling you. You'll hear stories about it, but it's just like, it's not real. There certainly is someone, but for every like 1,000 that you hear those stories, 990 of them, I'm just making this up, 999 of them are just people lying. People lying either to you about it or to themselves about their experience. Virtually no one. I've never met a person that started at the perfect time. Almost everyone starts at the top and then folds and loses money, or they stick with it and eventually are back in the green. That's been my experience from talking personally to hundreds of people, thousands of people. Shorting right now, Shalom, shorting right now is like going long at 60. I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. If I didn't already have this short open, I wouldn't be shorting personally right here. But we had it open at like 24 something. We are in bear FOMO. Honestly, I agree. We're in bear FOMO. And that doesn't mean we can't see the low break. It's not off the table. But man, we are in bear euphoria, absolutely. Can I talk smack about Savvy? No. You know what? Savvy, I'll say this, because I just don't speak badly about others in the space, man. Because one, crypto is too small to be tribalistic. I'm always an advocate of that. We're too small. It's like 99% of the world versus us. Why would we infight? That just sounds like, I don't know, falling into the trap. Savvy I will say, Savvy is an analyst, and he's an analyst that I think has skill. He has skills. He's not a LARPer. He's one of the few that I think has skills. I don't say that about many people. So I don't really have much smack to talk about him. But his 2K prediction, I think he's wrong. That's my opinion. I will say, and this isn't smack talking, this is just facts. I remember very vividly, in September of 2020, I remember Savvy being very, very bearish and saying he's selling all his crypto. It was at like 10K. That's not smack talk, that's just history. He was bearish all the way up. He's bearish now. I mean, it's kind of one side of the coin. But no, the dude himself is a good dude, and he's a talented analyst. I just don't agree with his targets. Like it or not, we're in a bear market. Yeah. Did you watch Fib trading on Rick's channel? I did. I tuned into Target Hit, yeah. When I'm bored, I jump over to Target Hit. I got a wrench there. I hope he's alright. I feel like he hit some bad trades, like a bad trade streak, which is probably a great learning lesson because every trader will hit a bad trade streak. If you're lucky, just one. But that's like really lucky. Did I watch Benjamin Cohen's video regarding the US 2-year. Being above the 10-year. The inversion, I did not, but I probably should. Benjamin Cohen, one of the real deals out there as well, actually. Absolutely, I've always said the same thing about Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen is inspiring to me as a YouTuber, as an analyst YouTuber, because he's had so much success without doing any of like the cheap tricks, and I didn't think it was possible until he proved it. I like to consider myself closer to Benjamin Cohen as a channel than most YouTube channels, but I know that we're not the exact same. I do like to mix in just like gibberish entertainment, kind of childishness at times, because I think it's, you know, this topic can be very dry, and boring, and I like to keep it a little more entertaining. At least I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that it's necessary to have a little silliness in it. We're all in this together, baby. That's right, Sylv. We were there. Shalom was there. We were there. And guess what? We'll be here. We'll be here until we're back at the top again. Probably be here on the way back down again. It's the long road, guys. If you have a short mindset, if you have a short time frame in mind, if you're thinking short term, you're not going to make it here. Crypto is not for those looking for the short term. Ouch, Henrik, ouch. But you know what, man? He went from 200K to 20K. You know what? If you're trading with 20 million in capital, I don't know what Rick is trading with, but if you're trading with 20 million in capital, being down 200K is 1%. It's not a big deal. If you only have 200K and you lose 180 of it, that's a huge deal, but I highly doubt that that's Rick's situation. In fact, I guarantee it isn't. He wouldn't be a trader. He wouldn't be around this long. He wouldn't have made it through the years. Target Hit's been on for, I don't even know, since I can remember. He wouldn't have made it this far. Like, he knows risk management. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Bad trades are the best teachers, man. Crypto is just trial by fire. Some of us make it through the fire. Other people don't. That's the sad reality of it. That's why I made this channel. Help guide some of you through that fire, just whatever that means, you know. It's just, if I can, I love crypto and I'm here to share my passion about crypto and charts and analysis, but really it's, I love crypto, and if I can help even a few people make it through, then I have shared my passion and I've helped it grow and I've achieved my goal, and I've done that, and I'd say we've gone farther than that, you know. And I'm super freaking grateful. I'm super humble. Shalom was in this chat when it was like me and Shalom just chatting by ourselves, man. We've come a long way. Busy hustling t-shirts. That's right, MRF. Get it, man. Get your hustle on. Chilling with a cocktail. Cheers. A little too early for me to have a cocktail, but do I ever share my portfolio? I am very open about my holdings. I should make up like a PDF thing for it, or I should make a video about it. It's a good idea. To make it easy, it's like, to make it easy, and this, like, these are close enough values. Let's say 80% Bitcoin. At this point, it's like 10% Ethereum, 5% Litecoin, and then 5% spread out between, I don't know, 200, 300 random bags of like small cap stuff. And some of those are larger, like ADA is about 1% maybe. So a lot of those positions I have, like I suggested with Luna Classic, is what I did with many coins is I just got like $10 of it. And it's like, all right, I have some of it. So if it goes to infinity, which is what our FOMO brains think, I'll still have a percent of infinity, which is still infinity. Catch me. Be smart. Most YouTube crypto guys suck. I agree. I agree, man. Sergio, I appreciate that, dude. You're an OG now. You're an OG now. So your words weigh heavily. You'll find here that, yeah, we do get new traders and we do get new investors. We do. And we welcome them, and I hope to appeal to them more. Like, if you haven't seen the playlist pinned to the top of the chat, guys, go watch them. Just watch all 5 of them. They're shorts. You can go through all 5 in under 5 minutes. I'm trying to appeal to them more because I saw through this bull run the percentage of them that we kind of captured as a channel, not very good. And then the percentage of the crappy channels, in my opinion, which I won't name any of, but the crappy channels that don't offer what we offer, netting a much higher percentage of that traffic because their content appealed to them better. And I understand Ours is complex. And so I have hired someone. Thanks to our sponsors. Bye, BFMX Mortgage. Sorry. Thanks to our sponsors, I've hired someone, and he's helping me create lots of beginner-friendly content, so I'm hoping we can appeal to them a little more. This is a fun hang. Love Ben. Not the same vibe. I mean, I feel that. And I don't think Ben would disagree either. I think he would agree. Zabadoo. Zabadoo asked if... same question with Carl the Moon, and same answer. Same answer, man. But I would love... I've never spoken with either of them. I would love to. I'd love to hear them out. But I've never spoken to... I mean, Carl the Moon, I've, like, actually had Twitter messages from. We've, like, Twitter messaged once or twice. But we've never had a conversation. Nate, 2 million in capital today to invest in crypto. Bro, I started with over, like, a very long time period, like 12 grand. Like, over a year, like DCAing. I wish I could have started with $1 million. I would be on an island I own somewhere right now. I'll have to watch that Cohen video, man. I just did a video, like, in Cohen style in tribute. I'll have to watch the yield inversion one, because that's something, like, I'll admit is not my area of expertise. You have to have a burning desire to make it. Dude, yeah, I like to say you have to believe in it. You have to believe in Bitcoin. And I'm just going to say Bitcoin because that's what I believe in. You have to believe in Bitcoin to make it. If you don't believe in it and you just think it's like get rich quick, it doesn't work. I've never seen it work. Is Shalom a bot? No. I know, despite his kind of bottish qualities at times, he is not a bot. I can verify. I mean, I show my losses when we lose trades. I show it. I don't pretend like it didn't happen. And I guess that shows the dangers of trading too. We've been doing pretty good, to be honest, though. You hired Beardy. Beardy's the next hire, though. Just as hype man in general. I'm gonna have him move into my house, have an extra bedroom. He's just gonna follow me around and be like, Tom Crown. Just so you know, man. Just letting you know. He doesn't know about this. It's a surprise. No one is talking innovation here. No one talks innovation in the bear market, man. Tommy V, they flock to the permable channels first. Well, then they should be here because I'm a permable. They flock to channels that give them content that they can understand with no background, which is not something I delivered in this bull run. I didn't deliver that. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna make sure I'm already with that with the playlist pinned to the top of the channel. I'm already taking steps towards that. That's my goal. Is by the time the next one is here and upon us, we'll have a nice little library built up, and we'll bring them in here under our wing, and we'll keep them forever, and we'll help them be successful. Of course I show the losses. The losses are the most fun, dude. I mean, wrecked is on the thumbnail. I don't want people to come in here thinking I'm some guru. You know, not even guru, because not even a guru doesn't lose. Like not even a guru. You'd have to be like a god, I don't know, a god. Like a hypothetical god figure to never lose trades. The best trader in the world loses trades all the time. That's trading. But beginners also flock to people who will just bias, like affirm their bias. Like, oh yeah, man, you know, I never lose trades. You don't ever have to lose trades either. Just do what I do. Like, and that's why I want them to come here instead. So they can hear reality, not just what they want to hear. But we got to meet them in the middle. And I recognize I'm not that good at that. And so that's why I've hired someone who is. Logic. Tom is a crypto god. Tom Crown, the endless of the crypto domain. Anybody see Sandman? I'm obsessed with it. I don't know how I can say I'm obsessed with it. I already watched them all. I'm not going to rewatch it, but I don't want to start referring to myself as Crown the Endless, but if you guys want to, I will love it. Anyone who claims to never lose a trade is a liar. Absolutely. I mean, that is a 100% factual statement that I can make and be confident in. They're a liar, or they're a scammer. I mean, or they're just farming engagement as a channel. You know, like they're not being honest. They're not helping people succeed. How much capital does you think it would take to trade crypto full time, John? Enough capital that you wouldn't need to day trade. Enough capital that you wouldn't need to work. Realistically, man. If you use anything less, it's a bad path. It's a bad path. I don't trade full time. We got sponsors, baby. Yeah, before you bid. I like endless. It's just as badass, but less ego. William S. That is like the nicest thing anyone said. As a YouTube crypto guy, same level as Ben, but more fun. You love the stream. That's like the highest compliment I've ever gotten. Thank you, man. I mean, I don't need data to scissor me Xerxes. Scissor me. No, that'll just make me cough. Doesn't really make my voice lower. When I get excited, the pitch of my voice goes up, as you probably can tell. The Fed will always print more. Always, that's true. It's not even just the Fed. It's man, humans. Humans will always create. If they're unbound in their creation, they will continue to create. Period. Man can't be trusted. Man can't be trusted with the creation of money. We've seen 1,000 years of it, and for 1,000 years it hasn't worked. Well, no, for 1,000 years it's done the exact same path. It works until it doesn't. Dollar hasn't been it's been around a long time for a reserve currency and for a currency on average, but 100 years is not a long time in the span of humans. It's not a long time. I highly doubt that it will last another 100 years. So, is what it is. Just came on, Chris. It's good to have you, man. You just came on, but unfortunately your timing is not good. Because I promised myself I wouldn't do more than 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. What you can do is you can make sure you're liked and subscribed and join the Discord. We're going to have the airdrop after the live. If you're not following me on Twitter, you should follow me on Twitter. I'm the best shit poster this side of the chain, man. Also, you can subscribe to the newsletter, because going along with the hire, I also have plans for that. So it's free. It's always going to be free. Canon philosophy. God dang, I know, Chris. But I'm going to schedule these more in advance in the future. This went well. Rich H, thank you for subscribing. Big Daddy Crypto. Carl von Erhard. Crypto Khaleesi, I like that. It's Game of Thronesy crypto. Appreciate everybody who's been here. Everybody just chatting with me, hyping up the stream, joining our community. I appreciate you all. It's time for me to go. I love you all, and I will see you very soon. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tonight. Crown out.